priority. That commitments you're really, once you say it, you're morally obligated to fulfill it, even if it becomes inconvenient later on. It's really important that we think about what we say as parents to our children. And it's important, I explain, how to develop a conversation with your kids about the value of keeping promises, and then how to connect to their lives on several levels depending on the age. These questions can be good for kids 5 years old through 15 and older. As you see, we start out with, have you ever broken a promise? Or has anybody ever broken a promise to you? How did you feel? As discussion openers. When do you think you should make promises? And should there be a limit for completion on promises? So let me go to another one and show you we use the same format throughout the whole Torah, which is just the next portion, Devarim. In Devarim, we're using the concept of criticism, which of course it's very hard to give and really hard to receive. But it's very important that parents understand how to give criticism to children and become role models to children on how to deal with it. Devarim, of course, talks about Moses' going through the past misdeeds of the Israelites as he's summing up the 40 years in the desert and preparing them to organize a society in the New World. Reflection on past successes and past failures are very important. But giving criticism, as we discussed in the last paragraph, you really need to think and use a gentle tone so that whoever is receiving it does not close down. Whether you're talking to your children about their homework, about their table manners, about how they play with friends, children need positive feedback. And it's all in the way parents do it. And then we go to talk to your children about how difficult it is to receive and to give criticism properly. And then we move on to suggested topics of discussion depending on the children's ages. How do you feel when you receive criticism from your parents or from friends? Do you ever give others feedback or criticism? What has been the reaction from others? Why do you think giving and receiving criticism is important? Are there situations where criticism might be destructive rather than constructive? As you see, these questions can be used on varying ages, from 5 through young adults or older. So that gives you an idea. We follow the same format on every portion. The first paragraph, we have a headline and a graphic. The first paragraph introduces the value or the ethic. The second paragraph references the Torah. And the third paragraph builds on the discussion on how parents should use it for their benefit with their children. And then we go into discussion topics to draw out your children on the point. Now, all of this is done in a few hundred words so that any parent can absorb the lessons in certainly half a minute of reading and be able to deliver it to their children, whether in the car, whether at bedtime, whether at the table, whether it's during Shabbat, whatever the opportunities. The theory is that if some of the parents use some of the materials some of the time, this will be impactful for Jewish education. So that's an introduction, and there's a lot more we can discuss about it, but let's maybe, Steve, open it up for if there's some discussion.
Right. Are there any questions about the actual format, the thinking behind explain what goes into each one of these 3 paragraphs plus questions? Just general questions to Fred, the author, about the material itself. Jan, yes.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, thank you, Fred, for sharing this incredibly expansive and thoughtful curriculum. A couple of questions. One is, I see that you did it with the intention for parents to use it with children. Has anyone addressed it as using it in a classroom for a classroom curriculum? And that would be one question. The other, just out of curiosity, I see at the bottom left you had a colleague in developing it, a Rabbi Kohler Esses. Can you tell me a little bit about who she is and her participation in this?
Absolutely. In terms of curriculum, my theory is that the Jewish world has lots of curriculum, and this certainly could be used as that, but that was not my intention in creating it. My intention in creating it was to give parents on a weekly basis, using technology in their emails, this opportunity to empower them to have a Jewish discussion at home. Certainly, it can be used as curriculum, but that was not my intention. The intention is to empower the parents to be able to bring Judaism in a non-threatening way into their homes, and an easy way to deliver. It's very important to respect the parents' level of commitment and their time availability. And that's why what's unique about what we're doing is the brevity of it. Now, in terms of Rabbi Diane Kohler Esses, I am the content creator and editor, along with both my wife, Joyce Klar, and my daughter-in-law, Lois Kahn-Klar, our editors. Rabbi Diane Kohler Esses is a very talented conservative graduate rabbi